ABC vinyl community. This is just a straightforward vinyl update. I've just accumulated a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. No lengthy videos here anymore. I'm going to be a good guy and not go over one side of this album, which is Martha and the Muffins, Mystery Walk. I never remember the title of this one. I think this is their third album. I'm a big fan of Echo Beach, and their first album they did, excuse me, which has a map on the cover of it. Great 80s wave band from Canada. Second album, this might be their second album. I'm trying to remember. No, I can remember the cover of the second album. It was a piece of artwork, kind of a dark purplish cover, and then a strange illustration on the cover. Had an EP with it. I used to have that album. It was part of the great vinyl sell-off. But I did keep the EP with me, so I got that. But this one, I don't think I ever even owned this album. I heard it, I was familiar with it. I might have had it on tape from a friend or something. And but I now own it. This is one of the more recent pickups that I got. So definitely a band, if you like 80s wave, definitely worth picking up, checking them out. Echo Beach was sort of their first big hit that came out. So continuing on with the 80s, picked up a copy of Echo and the Bunnymen, self-titled. I always wondered I always want to think this was their hits album. It's not their hits album. I have their hits album. But I was just surprised to see this and got it for a really good price, so very happy. I had most of Echo and the Bunnymen's music on that. I can see the cover of it now. I think I've got it. Anyway, this is where I'm going to run into time problems. I can't do that. This is something that I purchased new that I've been wanting because I have their first album, B-52s, on Mobile Fidelity. This is the Silver Series here. So I've been wanting to... I picked up the first album, and I've been wanting to make sure I got the second album. They've now got another album out on this Mobile Fidelity label. This has a nice numbering on it. I got a nice little number of 866. So I was kind of happy for that. That was sort of a little treat to pick that up. I said I wasn't going to show any RSD finds, but I did nab one thing, and this is actually, just because I haven't opened this up yet, but it's the Jack White 12-inch 16 saltines, and it's got the etched vinyl that lets you, it's etched on the side that you can play, which is kind of cool. So it must be etched on both sides, I'm guessing. Anyway, picked up one of those just because of the etching. And I also got the 45 that came out too. It's on colored vinyl. It's supposed to be red and black. Mine is mostly red. There's a few wisps of black in there. Not as interesting as I thought it would be. But here's another good one, and back to the used stuff. Elvis Costello and the Attractions. This is an import on, I think it's Fiend. I always want to call it Fiend. And then I look at it and it's something else. Yeah, Fiend Records. That's what I thought. Demon Records. Import through Demon Records, but it's a Fiend label. And they have kind of a cool label as well. This one isn't all that interesting. I've seen other Fiend labels that are just slightly different, I think. Unless I'm thinking of another label. But this is a great compilation. Came out a little after a similar compilation came out in the U.S. I think this is comparable to Taking Liberties, which was the name of the comp that was released in the U.S. around the time of Get Happy. They released Taking Liberties, and I have that. I should have that to pull out because they're very similar track listing. It just took a few years for this to be released. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is almost the same thing. A collection of B-sides. They were on singles or and elsewhere, mostly singles. I don't think he had too many EPs, but hush, Martha, hush. So this is sort of the English version of that American album, Taking Liberties. This is called 10 Bloody Marys, 10 How's Your Father's. Interesting title. So anyway, if you're a Costello fan, definitely worth picking up. Now, I was going through the dollar bin at the at Silver Platters and found a couple of interesting things. This is probably the most interesting thing of all of them. I'll show this. And I didn't know anything about it. It's a CTI album, and maybe someone out there can tell me about this, but I picked it up because it's an odd cover. And I looked at who was playing on it, and I thought to myself, well, this can't be too crazy or too bizarre or bad when you've got Herbie Hancock, Stan Clark, I'm assuming Stanley Clark, and then Jack DeJohnette, who I recognize the name now that I'm pronouncing it. But this is Joe Farrell, Moon Germs. I haven't listened to this yet. I've got a lot of stuff I haven't listened to yet. But if anyone has any comments to make about this album, I'd be curious. It's just a very strange LP cover. Lovely CTI. Great shape as well. But it's just interesting, all these geometric shapes, and then this eyeball looking out at us. And then the interior. And then there's that again. No eyeball. So you're probably not seeing all this. So anyway, if anybody out there is familiar with this, Joe Farrell, Moon Germs, I'd be curious to know what you think of it. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to get it on my turntable and give it a good listen. I may have listened to a little bit of it with my iPhone, listening to it from allmusic.com. They might have had sound samples. So I think that was like $1. Pick that up. Not $1 was this Ralph Towner Diary on ECM. So I did listen to a little bit of this at their listening station. It's a German pressing, and I really like it. I believe it's just acoustic guitar. I can't remember. It's been a while since I sampled it. It's been like a week or so since I sampled it, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it. But if it's as good all the way through as what I heard when I was just sampling it at the listening station, I'm going to be looking for some more Ralph Towner. I'm jumping all over the place here. This organization makes no sense. Oh, well, let's do this one. This is another Record Store Day. I decided I wasn't going to do any Record Store Day posts, but I got this one through, I think it was through Elusive Disc online, and they had a few copies available of a couple of Record Store Day items. They're hard to find. This is Bill Evans live at, I'm going to mispronounce this, but at DeLugoff's, D''Lugoffs. It's at top of the gate, and it's going to be released, the full concert's going to be released on on CD, but also on 3 45 RPM 12-inch discs. And what's nice about this is it's on lovely blue vinyl, and it's also a numbered item as well. Number 222 out of 1,500, I think? 1,500, yeah. I missed this one when it was first released on Record Store Day, and I was almost going to pay $30 to get it on eBay, but then I found it. They were offering it on, they were offering it at the Elusive Disc website. Had them. A couple other items. These are UK pressings, and Stevie over in UK, Stevie J.U. These are the Record Store Day Kinks color vinyl. You showed one of them. I was trying to get all 3 of them. I found one place on I just started searching. I started Googling for UK Record Store Day record stores, and I found a big directory website, sort of a directory of all the record stores that took place in the Record Store Day. It might have been on the Record Store Day's website, I'm not sure, but and I just started copying and pasting a message and emailing it to everybody, all these places, and most of them sent back saying, "Yeah, we're all out." A couple places got back to me at a reasonable price, and I was able to get. I haven't opened these yet, but I was able to get the Kinks Something Else and Face to Face, and then I found one place that had just Arthur. I told them I was just looking for Arthur at this point, and Arthur is on its way. Hopefully, I'll get it today or sometime next week. What's nice about this is they're numbered. They only made 500 of each, and the face-to-face is number 95, which is kind of nice. I like those low numbers. The Something Else is 264, so right there in the middle. And So that's a few more. Those are just unique record store day things. I thought I'd show those. What else have we got? Back to some local finds here. Some more 80s with Heaven 17, Luxury Gap. I don't think I ever had this album. I had Penthouse and Pavement on vinyl. I may not have had this. I'm not sure. But I do have a 45 from this album that I picked up. This is really great. Heaven 17, they have connections with Human League. I think they broke away from Human League and formed Heaven 17, several of them, maybe all three of these guys, I'm not sure. I'm got to sort of brush up on my history of that band a little bit better, but I know they were an offshoot of Human League at some point. This is kind of cool. I just got this from eBay. A few dollars, really. Basically, it's a UK pressing of Summer Days and Summer Nights by the Beach Boys. What's interesting, though, is it's on the Capitol label, which is, you know, that's cool, on a Capitol Rainbow label. But it's not, I was hoping, and I should have been aware that it wasn't going to happen, but I was sort of hoping that this would be maybe closer to an original release, you know, UK release of it. But up top here it says, this album has been digitally remastered from an analog recording and then put back onto an analog media. So that made no sense at all, really. But it's kind of cool to have. It didn't cost me very much. I think it cost me more to have it shipped than it did to actually buy it. So, got this. I like these. I've forgotten all about these Rhino issues from back in the 80s. And this is a Tommy James and the Shondells anthology, 2-disc set. Did a couple of great Zombies compilations that I wish I had kept a hold of. Rhino label there. Nice cover. It's also the cover of the CD. That when they released the CD of it, this is probably released around the same time. Yeah, also available on compact disc and cassette. So, you know, but it's nice to have the vinyl that came out. I think I've got. No, I don't. A friend of mine, I think, bought this on CD, and then went out of print, I think. But I have got something else. Maybe I'm thinking of Rascals because I've got a Rascals thing to show next. This is a reissue on Sundays, The Rascals Once Upon a Dream. So that's rather nice. And Sundays doing things right, as usual. Have a great inner sleeve with all the albums that they've reissued. And it's on the replica label that it used to be on, which was blue and green. I'm trying to remember what label that was. I can't remember. I know it, but I can't remember. My apologies. Let's see. And then recently, in fact, just a couple days ago, I was at Jive Time Records and picked up a few things, including I'm trying to increase my Tangerine Dream collection here. So I got La Park and Ricochet. So I've got those both. It's kind of nice. Both on Relativity, I think. Oh, one's on Gem, one's on Relativity. They are releasing a box set. There's 3 different box sets on CD of Tangerine Dream that's coming out. One of Edgar, forgive my pronunciation, Edgar Frosa. A set of a CD box set of his material. I think it's like 5 or 6 albums on 4 discs. There's 2 box sets that work together. One goes up to a certain date, like 70. It's like 74 to 77, and the other one is 78 to 82 of Tangerine Dream's music. I think total, if you buy all 3 of them together, it's like 20 CDs or 20 albums on so many CDs. So if you're a big Tangerine Dream fan and you're trying to collect everything all at once, you're just starting out, I'm contemplating getting it because someone figured out that on Amazon UK, if you order all 3 of these sets, I say box sets, I don't know if it's actually going to be in a box or just what. I've just seen rough details about what's going to be included on these packages because they haven't been released yet. But if you buy all 3 of them with the taking the VAT off and the exchange rate and including shipping, someone figured out you could get all 3 of these sets the 2 Tangerine Dream sets and the 1 Edgar Froese set for about $50, maybe a little more than $50. And that's a lot of music for $50. And it's, oddly enough, it's cheaper than if you were to buy them through Amazon US. Never understand that, but I guess they're importing it, then they're reselling it, so it's easier just to get it through Amazon UK. That being said, if there's an issue with your boxes or something, if they're crunched or if there's, you know, there's a defect, the exchange and all that is a little more of a hassle than if you were to buy it here in the US. So just be aware. But if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. You know, look it up on Amazon UK, and I'm sure the box sets will pop up near the top if you search for them by date. See, this is how I get in trouble about going too long. We're already going too long. Something I've been looking for a long time, I've been holding out for, is a 10-inch of Cheap Trick Found All the Parts. And it even includes the insert, which is nice, but it also includes and don't buy this without it, a 45 that came with it as well. And this has got everything works if you let it on both sides. It's like a promo 45, but this has got I think everything's live on here. Day Tripper, Can't Hold On, Such a Good Girl, Take Me, I'm Yours. So if you like 10-inch records, if you're a Cheap Trick fan, this is one you want to get a hold of. That's what I've been wanting to get a hold of. I'm not a huge Cheap Trick fan, although I did see them open for Heart once. That was kind of cool. Dwayne, if you're watching this, thank you. But I'd mentioned, or I'd seen this album before, and then I was watching one of your posts and I saw that you had this. And this is Dune by Dave Mathews. He apparently, before even the movie came out, he had decided to imagine a soundtrack for the book, basically. And so I went back and I was figured that, well, they probably don't have it. But lo and behold, they said, you know, oh, I think we sold it, I'm not sure. It's on CTI. Might have had that, I'm not sure. Might have sold it. And then I went and I looked under M's, and there it was still there, and I decided, you know, I'm going to nab it. It's one of those things that's kind of cool, and I was very curious about it at the time. Very, very interested at the time. My John McLaughlin collection is slowly but surely growing. This one is Shock Tea with John McLaughlin Natural Elements. Grab that. The music is getting quieter. I know it's getting towards the end. Pat Metheny watercolors. Continue my Pat Metheny collection and ECM collection. Oh, let's see what else I got here from Jive Time. Yay! Great logo, one of the best logos. This was in their kind of a $3 bin area. They have 3 or 4 for $10, and I picked 4 out. Excuse me, I picked 4 out, and then I decided, meh, this is really the only one I'm kind of interested in. And it's Ian Anderson's, or Jethro Tull's, Broadsword and the Beast. And I'd kind of broke up with Jethro Tull and that band. You know, you break up with bands, you just sort of leave them behind for a little while. And this album came out after Stormwatch, and Stormwatch was the last album of Jethro Tull that I listened to. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to go back $3. I'll go back and listen to it. I'm sure it's good. It's worth a listen to. This is another one. This wasn't in the $3. This is a $5 bin, but. This is Badfinger Say No More, one of their last albums. Not sure. I know Joey Mullen is on it, Tom Evans. I think those are the only 2 originals that are on here. But nice promo from all Q97 FM Tacoma. I guess I never listened to Tacoma radio stations way back then, but so a nice promo record. It sounds great, and the music is very good. This is a very good, very, very good Badfinger album. Excuse me. Oh, the music has run out and I have not finished. But I will just it will make me go through these faster. Is what that will do. Oh yeah. These are in a giant plastic bag because it was raining the day I bought them. I didn't want them to get wet. And Oh, these are purchased at, okay, these are purchased at Jive Time as well. Very cool. Start with this guy. This is a nice promo of Steam, 12-inch promo of Steam by Peter Gabriel. Features remixes by Hank Shockley and the Bomb Squad. So that was a buck. Nice wide label promo, but very unique. Nice sticker on the side here. It's unusual. So happy to have that. And then a bunch of Simple Minds. I ran into a bunch of Simple Minds. This is one I used to have a long time ago. Sons of Fascination. Doesn't want to go in that way. That's fine. So I always like this album. The label on this album, just how simple and graphic it was. Geometric shapes. So, and it's Sons of Fascination. This is part of, it was this and Sister Feeling's Call that were eventually combined to make one full CD, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember. But I know Sister Feeling's Call was like an EP, and this was sort of a short album when they released it on CD. I think they put the two of these together, and unless I'm thinking of Themes for Cities or Themes for Big Cities and Sister Feeling's Call, I'm not sure. Earlier album by Simple Minds, Celebration. It's not their earliest, but Virgin. I think this is probably a re-release, but still happy to get it. It's a good album. The first album I didn't care too much for. I always liked the cover on this one. And then the back where they're in a greenhouse is interesting. But I don't think... I didn't care much for the first album. It's a totally different sound to what theirs is. I was very happy to find this. I think Rob Evolux, Evolux, I still can't pronounce it. I'm just giving up. But and I got to be careful when I say Rob because Paniques might be thinking, what? That's no, the other Rob in Chicago. Chicago Rob. That's who I'll refer to you as. Just easier. So Simple Minds, Sparkle in the Rain. But I believe, Rob, it was you that found for like $1 the transparent vinyl version. Now I've got one. Very happy. So I didn't pay $1 for it, but I think I ended up paying about $5 for it, which is fine with me. What could this be? There's just a few more things. Okay. These are good to get. These are good to show, and we'll end with these too. So this is Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water, and nothing too amazing here. But I never had the album, and I've never heard it. I've heard a few tracks off of it, and I actually liked it quite a bit. The nice thing is, even though the cover is a little rough, because it's any kind of a black cover, if it doesn't have some kind of a laminate on it, it's not going to do so well. But I think this must be an original release because that's quite a nice label that it's on. Very unique Atlantic label, and the vinyl is like it was just pressed. Whoever bought this, I don't know, maybe they were giving it to as a gift and they didn't like it or something, but they didn't play it very much and they treated it well. So I was happy to have it in my collection now. So it is a gatefold. Open it up. Very cool. I didn't look at the gatefold, the interior of it at all. Very cool photograph. And then very reminiscent to what they used on the label on the back. So Fish Out of Water, Chris Squire. And last but not least, I think this will, I think this this catches me up, at least for vinyl, at least for 12 inches. A couple of posts past, I started off, when I was showing what Rob in Chicago had sent me with the trade that we had done. And I had the Peter Gabriel German, the third album in German, playing. Well, I found what I thought was just the Peter Gabriel fourth album, Japanese pressing, that was kind of cool, and it was priced well for a Japanese pressing. and I put it back, and I thought, I've got the classic records. Oh, not that one. 2. There's 4. I don't know if any of you have seen these. I may have shown these before. I should actually. I have one that's open. I'm going to unbox, but I have this. This is the Security album, and but it's on the Clarity vinyl, which is it's one side, 4 12-inch discs pressed on one side, and they're kind of a milky white. It's a different chemical, not chemical. I don't like using that, but it's a different product they used to press the music on it. It's not just standard vinyl. It's a whole new. It's their own. It's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it, but maybe I should just read it. Clarity Ultimate Vinyl Formulations. It's a vinyl formulation. 90% highest quality polymer available. It's basically their special, vinyl to press it on, but it comes out this milky white color, pressed only on one side. There's 4 discs in here. Play them at 45 RPM. And they did it for all of his albums. And I'm thinking, well, I've got this. I really don't. Do I really need a Japanese pressing? But it would be nice to have everything on one, on a 2-sided disc as well. But then I looked at it again. I thought, huh. And then I looked at it again, and I saw up here, it's not just the UK version of it, the Japanese pressing, but it's him singing it in German, which I have on CD. He did the 3rd album and this 4th album in German. I have both those CDs, but I have only the vinyl. I had only the vinyl of the 3rd album. This one is Ein Deutsches Album, or Deutsches Album, and so now I have on vinyl Peter Gabriel singing Shock the Monkey, or as he calls it, or as it's translated, Schock den Affen, which is nice. San Jacinto doesn't get translated. It stays San Jacinto. But Contact becomes KON hyphen TAKT apostrophe, which is interesting. So, yeah, now I've got this German version of this album on vinyl. Very happy. Charisma, Japanese pressing. I've been sort of on the lookout for a vinyl of this. I just figured I'll never find it, or I just haven't looked that hard. And then the woman that sort of rang up my albums, kind of when I explained to her what this was, she said, "Well, that's odd. It's an English artist. It's a Japanese pressing of an English artist singing in German." I said, "Yeah, that's going around the world a little bit there." So, and now here it is in Seattle. So, there we go. Anyway, that's it. Too long. I'm sure up close to 30 minutes. But you all know how easy it is for that to happen. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching this. I'll talk to you guys later, and maybe I'll start showing some of my 45s. I'm still trying to organize. We need to get some more good boxes to put things in and shuffle things around. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.